Hello everybody, my name is Sim K and I'd like to welcome you guys back to Tuesdays with K. Now we're in the new setup, got the green screen up, got the different lighting and the acoustic treatment, so I'm actually backed away from the microphone. But what we're reviewing today is this guy, the AKG P120, a microphone that I actually reviewed its big brother of back in 2020. That being the P220, which I have right here. Now, of course, all my audio is recorded through the Scarlett 2i2 2nd Gen, recording at 24-bit, 48 kilohertz. And I will do no kind of post-processing, but I may have to boost the audio in post, so check the right-hand corner at the very bottom, and you'll see everything that I did. Alright, so the frequency response on this guy is 20 Hz to 20 kilohertz. It has a self-noise of 19 decibels A-weighted. Now let's go ahead and talk about what comes in the box. You're going to get the microphone. You get a microphone hard mount. And you get some documentation of a booklet actually. And I think what is a warranty card? I'm not 100% sure. It looks like a warranty card, but it doesn't have anything about warranty on it. So I'm not sure. Now let's talk about the build quality on this guy. It feels absolutely fantastic. It's really heavy. It's exactly like the P220 when it comes to its weight. Very stout, very heavy, and it feels amazing in the hands. You could probably use this thing as a weapon, honestly. Now let's talk about what's on the front of the microphone, because it does have some stuff. Here on the front of the microphone, there is a 300 Hertz high-pass filter. I believe it's at -6 decibels per octave, and that is specifically to eliminate the proximity effect. Now 300 Hertz is very aggressive, but it would do a good job at eliminating that really if you had a really deep voice and you were close miking a microphone. And on the other side, there is a -20 decibel pad, which will give you additional headroom if you have a very loud sound source that you need to mic. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to do a polar pattern test, which I have actually unscrewed the microphone from its mount so I can talk into it and spin it around. So I'm going to just talk into the microphone as I spin it around on the mount here, and I'm just going to keep talking into it as we spin it around and move it all the way around the microphone and gradually come back to the front. I'm now talking into the front of the AKG P120. I'm now talking into the side of the AKG P120. I'm now talking into the back of the microphone. And now talking into the other side of the microphone. Now I've actually eliminated talking into the top and the bottom of the microphone, so I'm going to go ahead and put a disclaimer here and let you guys know that this is a side address microphone. That's what I'm going to be saying from now on. I know that the AT2020 USB Plus video, I included it in, but that was a video that I had initially planned on releasing in 2021, and I've just opted against doing that for the rest of 2022. But yes, this is a side address microphone, so you talk into the side of it. It is going to be the side that has the AKG logo and the side that has all the switches on the very front. So next, I want to see if there is any resonance in the microphone's build to see how well it's actually built here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap on the microphone's body and I'm going to be quiet so you guys can listen. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do a plosive test. So pop goes a weasel, pippity pop, seashell, seashells by seashore. Pop goes a weasel, pippity pop, seashell, seashells by the seashore. And just to give you guys an idea of what the plosives are like with a pop filter in front of it, pop goes a weasel, pippity pop, seashell, seashells by the seashore. You're probably not going to do a lot of those harsh P's, so I just did the regular test. I'm going to go ahead and do a noise floor test. So for this in my software Audacity, I actually crank the volume down to 0% and slowly crank it up to 100. So you're not just hearing the preamps out of the Scarlett. So I'm just going to crank it down to 0. %. 50%, 75%, and 100%. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do clicky in the typey test. See how much my voice versus how much the keyboard noise it's going to pick up for you guys. And for that, I'm gonna do two kinds of this test. The first one is I just go nuts on my keyboard and I just tell it what for and talk into the microphone while I go ham on the keyboard. The second test is more gamer oriented if you're playing a video game and what it would sound like if you were talking into it. So I'm going to go ahead and just go nuts on this keyboard here and just talk into the microphone. These are Cherry MX Browns, so this gives you an idea of what it would sound like if you had Cherry MX Browns like me. And yeah, this is how much my voice versus how much the keyboard noise is picking up. And I'm now pressing on the WASD key, the spacebar, the R key, and clicking that mouse every once in a while to give you guys an idea of what this would sound like if you were playing a video game. I'm now right on top of the microphone to demonstrate the proximity effect, and this is how it sounds. And I will switch the high pass filter on here to give you guys an idea of how it compares. And the high pass filter is now on, and I'm once again very close to the microphone. Gain on my preamp is set at about 30%, and recording volume is set at 50%. And this is what it sounds like. Alright, and lastly, I'm going to go ahead and engage the negative 20 decibel pad so you guys can hear what that sounds like. You'll probably hear a massive fall off from me, but here we go. Alright, and the negative 10 decibel pad is on. I have not boosted the audio any in post. I did not with the previous thing, and this is what it sounds like. So what are my overall thoughts on this microphone? Firstly, I have to say the frequency response on this thing is very neutral. It has this boost in the treble region to give it a lot of clarity and a lot of air. It is a little more aggressive than say the Rode NT1, but it's a very neutral sounding microphone. It does you can tell that there's a lot of that presence in the high end. But let's talk more in depth on what it is. The high end sounds a little gritty and a little artificial. It is very much of an overboosted presence region type deal, and they went a little too harsh in it. I think that if they would have attenuated it by about 5 decibels per octave, it would have done significantly better overall. However, I will say it is a lot better than the P220. Now the specs could be better. At 19 dBA, it's not the greatest. It's still a little bit better than say the AT2020 would be at 20 dBA, and it is $10 cheaper. This is a $90 microphone. I always compare the Behringer B1 very favorably to most microphones in this category because it has this nice presence boost and this 13 dBA self noise. So Audio-Technica and AKG, come on guys, get on it. I also think that the high pass filter is a little too aggressive. I would have preferred a 200 to 100 hertz high pass filter if you're really trying to eliminate that proximity effect. If you aren't, I would actually have a 80 hertz high pass filter, or do what the shotgun microphones do, which is have a selectable high pass filter where it goes from 80 to I think 120, depending on how close you're miking the vocals. 80 hertz would be a lot better for gamers because we would be able to set it up and it would eliminate a lot of the bumps of our desk. Now, there does seem to be a little bit of attenuation in the low frequencies with this microphone. It seems to have a gradual fall off in the low frequencies. It's not too extreme, and it sounds pretty smooth overall. The mids, like I said, they're nice and neutral. They have this very flat frequency response, which I think, in my personal opinion, I prefer a lot more of, because I feel that the more neutral a microphone is, the more true to your voice that you are getting. Not only that, you get a lot of editing that you can do in post. It gives you a lot of wiggle room, and you can really flex your muscles and see what kind of color you want to introduce to the microphone, use different preamps, use different interfaces, and check to see what color it presents into it. And the low end is nice. It is slightly recessed. The microphone doesn't sound thin or that the bass is muddy or out of control. It's just a slight recession to help with some of the rumbles and everything like that. So do I think that you should buy this microphone? Yeah, for 90 bucks, it's a pretty good deal. Do I think that's the best microphone in this class? No. And there's a lot of other microphones that can come in at this price range that are better in certain ways. But this microphone overall is a pretty good deal at 90 bucks. It feels great. It does have a high pass filter built in, so you aren't going to have to do that in post. It's 300 hertz, but at 6 decibels per octave, it's not the most extreme high pass filter. And you could probably get away with it if you had a very deep bassy voice. The negative 20 decibel pad also helps if you are making loud sounds and will get you any additional headroom you need. My only recommendations is that you do get a pop filter of some sort, like what I have here, and that you get some sort of shock mount. Now, the resonance on this microphone could be a lot better. I did hear a slight inside of it instead of the dunk that you usually hear out of higher quality microphones. So maybe some better parts would be in order, or maybe a better mic body would be in order. It's not the worst that I've ever heard. The Avitone has this like bell sound to it, and the newers don't sound very great either. So if you guys do want to buy this microphone, like I said, it is 90 bucks. I will leave a link down in the description box below for Amazon US, UK, Sweetwater, and B&H. But I'm going to go ahead and end that episode there. So I want to thank everybody so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please give it a big thumbs up. If you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. Check out awesome content I create, including links at the end of this video. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.